am deeply honored to and privileged to have been given this opportunity to deliver these remarks on his behalf. Let me also thank Transparency International for the invitation and for convening this important regional stakeholder event on such a timely and relevant theme, why data matters, safeguarding integrity in the Pacific. I wish to acknowledge as well the work of Transparency International globally and across our region, and to commend the launch of the Transparency and Integrity Fiji as a significant and welcome development for Fiji and for the wider Pacific. It reflects a continued commitment to strengthening transparency, accountability, and integrity in our public life and institutions. This conversation comes at a critical time for our region. The Pacific is operating in an increasingly complex and uncertain environment. We're navigating the compounded effects of geopolitical tension, economic fragility, climate and disaster pressures, and external shocks that continue to test the resilience of our institutions and communities. The current conflict in the Middle East and the resulting fuel and supply disruptions are a clear reminder that developments far beyond our shores can have immediate and serious implications for Pacific countries, from rising transport and energy costs to inflationary pressure, fiscal strain, and wider economic vulnerability. In such times, institutions are tested, public confidence is tested, governance systems are tested. And that is why the theme of today's event is so important. In the Pacific, integrity must not be seen as a narrow technical concern, nor as the responsibility of one institution alone. Integrity is a collective responsibility. It belongs to governments, civil society, regional institutions, the media, academia, and citizens alike. Safeguarding integrity requires a shared commitment to transparency, accountability, trust, and fairness in the way decisions are made and power is exercised. But values alone are not enough. Good intentions alone are not enough. We all need evidence. Too often, concerns about unfairness, weak oversight, undue influence, or corruption remain at the level of anecdote or public perception. In small and closely connected societies such as ours, these concerns may be deeply felt, but unless they are documented, validated, and analyzed, they can easily be overlooked in policy and reform processes. And this is where data becomes indispensable. Reliable data helps transform perception into credible evidences. It provides a common reference point for national and regional dialogue. It allows diverse stakeholders to engage more meaningfully, compare experiences across countries, identify trends and vulnerabilities, and strengthen trust in institutions through greater transparency and accountability. And in this sense, data is not simply technical material, it is an essential part of good governance. This is essentially important in the Pacific context, where corruption risk can be amplified by structural realities such as small populations, aid dependence, frequent natural disasters, climate-related pressures, and limited oversight capacity. These realities do not define our region, but they do shape the governance environment in which our institutions must operate. And that is why tools such as the Global Corruption Barometer and the Corruption Perception Index are so important. They help ensure that citizens' concerns are not simply heard, but validated. They help ensure that citizens' concerns are not, they make integrity issues visible. They give greater credibility to public discourse, and they support governments, civil society, and regional bodies to design reforms, measure progress, and strengthen governance systems over time. From a regional perspective, this matters greatly. At the Forum Secretariat, our work spans the political, security, economic, and governance domains. Across all of these areas, one principle is increasingly clear. The policies we shape and the advice we provide to our members and our leaders, they must be evidence-based. Whether we are assessing political developments, considering security risks, responding to economic shocks, or supporting governance reform, evidence must help frame our judgment. It enables us to move beyond assumption. It sharpens policy choices. It helps us understand where vulnerabilities lie, what reforms are needed, and where regional collective action may be required. And this is particularly relevant as we look ahead to key regional priorities leading to our annual meeting of our leaders at the Forum Leaders meeting in Palau, including the continued work on our key regional policy framework, the 2050 strategy, as well as our current work to review our regional architecture. These processes are fundamentally about the future of Pacific regionalism, about ensuring that our regional institutions remain coherent, responsive, and fit for purpose in a rapidly changing environment. They are about strengthening our collective ability to serve Pacific priorities and deliver on a long-term vision of our leaders that they have set for the Blue Pacific. If these regional processes are to succeed, they must be informed by good and reliable evidence. The 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent gives us that long-term vision. The review of the regional architecture challenges us to think carefully about how our regional system can remain effective and relevant. But in both cases, success depends on sound analysis, credible data, and evidence that reflects the lived realities of Pacific peoples. In other words, evidence is not separate from regionalism. It is central to effective regionalism. If we want stronger institutions, we need evidence. If we want better policy, we need evidence. And if we want greater accountability and public trust, we need evidence. And if we are serious about safeguarding integrity in the Pacific, we need evidence. And that is why, again, I'll reiterate the importance of this event. It reinforces a simple but powerful truth that transparency and accountability are not abstract ideals. They are practical foundations of good governance, supported by data, which are key tools that help us uphold these foundations. I also welcome the inclusive nature of this gathering, bringing together government, civil society, regional partners, academia, journalists, and students. And that reflects the very principle that integrity is a shared responsibility. Safeguarding trust in institutions requires all parts of society to be engaged in the conversation. As the Pacific continues to navigate a more uncertain and demanding regional and global environment, we will need institutions that are trusted, leadership that is principled, and policies that are informed by facts and evidence. And with that, malo apito, thank you very much.